You've been hearing whispers in your dreams lately, haven't you? Symbols you can't quite name. A door. A shadow. A key that vanishes before you can grab it. These aren't just dreams, Capricorn, they're signals. The universe is changing the locks around you, and in July 2025, you'll be handed a master key. But it will only work if you learn how to wield uncertainty as a weapon. And desire as a compass. This month isn't about solving puzzles. It's about walking into the unknown with trembling hands, and still daring to knock. You've always been the mountain, solid, enduring, immovable. But this July, the mountain begins to melt. Not in weakness, but in transformation. Structures you've depended on may begin to shake. Systems that once served you now feel rigid, even suffocating. And erase the twist, you've outgrown them. Not because they failed, but because your spirit has expanded beyond their borders. A conversation that seems minor at first, perhaps with a colleague, a family member, or a stranger in a cafe, might plant a seed that spirals into a seismic shift in your understanding of yourself. It may begin with disagreement, frustration. But don't recoil. These frictions are flintstones for your inner fire. Let them spark you. You may find yourself haunted by a single question: what do I actually want? Not what is safe. Not what is expected. Not what earns applause. But what makes your chest rise with that rare, golden sense of aliveness. This question will not leave you alone. It will show up in your morning routines, in your scrolling late at night, in your moments of silence. And you will be tempted to answer with logic. With a plan. With your usual precision. But July won't play by your old rules. This is not a month for control. It's a month for communion, with your instinct, your longing, and the version of you you've never dared to meet. At the heart of this month lies a portal. You can choose not to enter it. You can let it close. But if you step through it, even blindly, you will not come out the same. There's a version of you who already exists on the other side. Fiercer. Freer. Radiant in a way that makes no sense to others, but perfect sense to your soul. And erase the paradox, the key to this portal is not external. It's not an event. It's a decision. A choice to stop dimming your light to match dim rooms. A vow to stop editing your truth for those who cannot hold its voltage. At the end of this path waits a moment so precise, so intimate, it may feel like déjà vu. A sensation that something destined is finally arriving. But before we reach it, there are shadows to face, and treasures hidden within them. The most unexpected revelation is yet to come. You may feel a strange weight around mid-July. Not heavy like burden, but dense like a prophecy approaching. Something is pulling at the edges of your perception, like you're about to remember something you've never known. Trust it. This is the moment the veil begins to lift. You might feel the urge to retreat. To cancel plans. To say no without offering an excuse. That's not laziness, it's intuition. This is a sacred cocooning. The cosmos are carving out space for you to receive a truth too loud to arrive in chaos. In this silence, a new rhythm begins to pulse within you. It's not the rhythm of your calendar, or the clock, or your expectations, it's the rhythm of alignment. Your dreams become louder. Your emotions shift quickly, like clouds reshaping in a restless sky. People around you might not understand. That's okay. You weren't meant to be understood right now. You're meant to transform. And somewhere in this stillness, you realize you've been clinging to a version of success that no longer nourishes you. Maybe it was money. Approval. Control. A relationship that felt almost right. But almost is a ghost, and you are done haunting yourself. July brings a clean break. But erase the twist, the break won't feel like pain. It will feel like relief. Like you're finally exhaling after holding your breath for years. Watch closely around the 17th to 20th. A gesture, a message, or even a coincidence will feel charged. This is no accident. It's your personal breadcrumb from the universe, leading you toward a choice you've been afraid to make. Do not second-guess it. Act with sacred audacity. Romance, too, takes a sharp turn, not always outward, but inward. You might meet someone who doesn't flatter your ego, but awakens your mirror. Or you might realize the deepest intimacy you're craving isn't with another. It's with your own unspoken self. Either way, passion returns, not as distraction, but as direction. Let it guide you. By now, your outer life may still look similar. But inside, tectonic plates have shifted. You are no longer who you were. And those who sense it will either rise with you, or fall away. Don't chase. Don't explain. Just rise. There is one more revelation waiting, a golden thread that ties all these shifts together. But first, the final test approaches. It won't be loud. It won't be cruel. It will be a whisper in the form of a choice. Will you shrink back into the known? Or will you leap toward the light, not knowing what awaits? In the last chapter of July, the answer will arrive. The final week of July opens like the hush before a thunderstorm, a sacred stillness before everything shifts. You feel it in your chest before you see it. A truth rising like a tide you can no longer deny. Someone unexpected may reappear, not necessarily a person, but an energy. A memory. A dream you thought you buried. But it's not here to tempt you backward. It's here to test your foundation. Are you still building from fear? Or are you finally ready to build from desire? Your response to this moment will echo for months. Not because fate demands perfection, but because July is your portal. A narrow, shimmering gate between two versions of yourself. The version who survived. And the version who lives. And here it is, the revelation I promised. You are no longer meant to climb the mountain just to prove you can. You're meant to choose the right mountain, the one that calls your name even when the world is silent. July marks the end of proving and the beginning of becoming. You've carried so much, Capricorn. Generational weight. Ancestral patterns. Expectations so tightly wound they almost felt like your own. But they're not. And now, the universe invites you to set them down, not in defeat, but in freedom. Your strength was never about how much you could carry. It's always been about how far you could go once you finally let go. Financial energy shifts as well. Not through sudden gain or loss, but through clarity. You begin to see where your energy leaks, who and what no longer deserve your investment. This isn't about austerity. It's about sacred resource. July whispers, you are the asset. Protect your frequency accordingly. Creative waves hit hard, especially around the 27th. You might feel the urge to write, to build, to speak something that's been trapped in your bones for years. Let it come out raw. Let it be messy. Let it be real. This isn't about audience. This is about alignment. And finally, in the soft closing light of the month, love speaks. Maybe not in the language you expected. Maybe not even through words. But you'll feel it. A shift in the gaze of someone who sees the real you. Or maybe it's you, standing in the mirror for the first time without judgment. That is love, too. This month isn't easy. But it's alchemical. And if you've made it this far, you've already passed the hardest test. You stayed with yourself through the fire. Now, all that's left is to rise. If this message touched something deep inside you, stay with us. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And come back soon, because your cosmic path is only beginning to unfold.